The ones that are available currently are going to be the ones that are highlighted. They have an actual token on them. So you'll buy those with research points. Like in the top row, the phase shield and the glue-on computer are available. The other technologies are not available at the moment.
Okay.
The way that works is if you go to your player board, you will see across the top there are 4 ship types. And since we're both playing humans, they're going to have the same types with the same abilities. You got your interceptor, the cruiser, the dreadnought, and the starbase. And then those squares above the name is the configuration. So that's the base configuration, and as you buy technologies, you can place those tiles onto your ship's diagram here to upgrade them. Alright, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get the setup finished. In the center there, that's the galactic center. Each one of these tiles represents a system. Your starting system is up to the north there, number 231. And I'm going to be south. If you imagine the ring that is the 6 hexes surrounding the galactic center tile, that is the inner sector, which is sector 1, is that ring. The next ring out is 2. That's the ring that our home planets are on, our home systems are on. Everything beyond that is 3. It makes a lot more sense when you see it in action. It's kind of hard to show here unless I can find a way to pull up a... Yeah, I can do this. Alright, so can you see this tile as I'm placing it?
Yep.
Alright, so this here is ring 1.
Yep.
And then the next ring out is ring 2.
Okay.
And then anything beyond that is 3.
Okay.
So what happens is on the draw tile window, you'll see the tiles face down 1, 2, and 3. If you, in exploration action, you're going to announce which one of these neighboring sectors you want to explore, and then you're going to draw a tile appropriate to whether it's ring 1, 2, or 3. And they're face down, and then when you draw them, it'll turn up and show you what's on there. So you have to announce in advance where you're exploring, and then once you see the tile, you can choose to place it or pass. If you pass, that tile goes into a discard and your round ends. If you see like on the tiles on the edges, those circular rings,
Yep.
that represents wormholes. At the base technology, you can only move between sectors if that's a full, like if that icon is on both matching tiles.
Okay.
So in the example showing now, from here I can move north because there is a wormhole there.
Right.
This tile were placed, say, here. I could not move to the north through that border because there is no wormhole there.
Okay.
Let me pull another one here just to give you a good example. in let's see. The tiles are not cooperating. Let's find a good example here. Okay. In this case here, the tile that's to the south of your starting position,
Right.
you see how there's, in this border, there is the wormhole marker on your side, but not on the next tile.
Right.
The oh, we got an observer in the game. In the in the case of the so there is a technology on the board that's available at some point in the game that allows you to move across that border if there's one side has the wormhole but not both. But at the start of the game, we don't have that technology, so you've got to have that full match right there like that to move across the border. Alright, is there a way to reset this game? Or do I just need to undo it back?
Just rewind it.
Okay. Yeah, don't leave the starting tiles in place.
There's 2 down at the bottom. Are those supposed to be there?
Where?
Right below 22. Let's see. You're at 227. There's one to the left of you, 108.
Oh, yeah, let me go here. Okay. You'll see there are 4 tracks at the bottom with tokens on them. At the very bottom there's the big track that goes from 30 to 0.
Yep.
So these discs represent the influence of your empire. The way that works is these discs are going to be placed on regions that you want to control in order to show that you influence them, and that, as you see, I put one in my starting unit here. That means that I own that sector. The number that's revealed behind that token is the upkeep that you'll pay at the end of the round. So what this means is you will, as your empire grows, you have more influence on the board. Your empire becomes more costly to run. And these discs are also used to represent your actions. So in my turn, if I'm going to do an explore action, I'm going to take the disc from the furthest on the right, move it to the explore. Can you see my player board yellow?
Is that the play sequence tracker?
The yellow player board.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So if I'm going to do an exploration action, I'm going to move that token from the rightmost on the track to the explorer, and then I'll take my explore action, then it goes to you, you get to take one action, then it goes to me, back and forth until we both pass.
Okay.
So as the turn goes on, I might do explorer again, and then I might want to do a move and a move. So in this case, as you'll see, by having one influence, 4 actions taken, I'm at a -3 on my influence track. So that's the upkeep that I'm going to have to pay. I'm going to have to pay 3 credits upkeep at the end of the round. The 3 tracks above that with the cubes, these represent your population. So you place them on planets to work. Let's see. Alright, so the orange is money, the pink is science, and the brown is materials. And these correlate to the cube spaces on the tiles that are on the board. So you'll see like your home tile has 1 brown, 1 pink, and 1 orange square. That means that those are spaces that you can put workers in. And then you've got 1 pink with a star and 1 orange with a star. Those are basically, you have to have technologies to work those spaces, but we'll get to that. The way this works is, so I'm going to place my workers as I explore onto the map like this, and they go with the color that they are associated with. So, you know, a worker off of the orange money track can only work on an orange tile, and that means that he is doing whatever he has to do to produce money. So these tracks work the same way as that influence track. As these tiles go off, you'll see the numbers below them become higher. That's the resources they generate. So the more workers you have out working the money track, your resources become higher that you will gain at the end of each turn. So the orange is money, and that will offset with the hang on here, get my pieces back on the board. So the money will be offset with the your upkeep at the end of the turn. Pink is research, that's used to buy technologies. Brown is materials that's used to build ships and star bases. Let's see. Might just go through a sample turn and maybe it'll make more sense.
Okay.
Alright, so to start the game out, go to your player board, and you're going to take 1 disc. Hang on a sec. I'll figure out how I can move 1 instead of a whole stack.
Usually.
Okay, double click to separate the stack, looks like. Okay, so you go to your player board, grab 1 disc off the influence track and place it in the center of your starting system tile.
On the main board where the hexes are?
Yep, just like that. Okay, and then the tracks above that, the 3, the money, the science, and the materials track, you're going to move those cubes to the spaces on your starting system also that match their color.
Let's see that one more time.
The 3 tracks above that, the money, science, and materials tracks, where the cubes are, you're going to move 1 of those cubes from each track to the related space on your starting system.
On my starting tile?
Yes. This game is much easier to teach in person. This is going to be a little difficult, but I think we can get through it. it's going to be hard to teach with this many pieces in play, and not be physically in front of you. Okay, so that is your starting setup. That's fine. I'll take the first turn just to kind of show you how it all goes. Oh, I'm sorry, you also have to place on your starting system one interceptor, which is the smallest ship.
Where do you get that from?
It's on the right side of your player board.
Okay, and where do I place that?
Just anywhere on your starting tile. Eight of them, they're going to be on the bottom right hand corner there, all the way on the right.
Okay. You said place that on the board, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I shouldn't have picked black. I can't hardly see those things.
Yeah, actually it was that was mentioned in the notes that the black is kind of difficult to see, but
yeah, a black spaceship at a space game is not good.
Alright, so we're going to start the first turn. If you want to view my player board, I'll show you how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to say for my first action, I'm going to do an explorer action. So what I will do is I'm going to move the disc, my influence disc, onto the explorer.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say I'm going to explore. I don't know how you're supposed to designate it in here, but let's see. I will say I'm going to explore to the northeast of my starting. I'll have to ask them how you're supposed to point that out in the module, but anyway. Okay, so that that's going to be on track 2. I get off my ship. So that's going to be on ring 2. So I'm going to pull a disc 2 or a tile number 2. And now I have an option. Now, how do you rotate? Okay, Control R and Shift R rotates.
Where'd it go?
Okay, so I placed that tile there. Now, in the center of the tile, you see there's a icon that looks like sort of like a square with 2 rounded edges.
Right.
That means that there's a discovery in there. So if I decide that I'm going to move into that sector and take it, then I'll draw a discovery tile to see what's there. So that's also on the draw pile window. I'm going to pull a discovery tile out here, put it on the board, and I will flip it by right-clicking it. And that is... So I have found an ancient technology, is what that is. So each one of these discoveries can either be taken as the 2 victory points or as what's on the back of it. And you have to make that decision as soon as you see it, and then you can't change your mind later in the game. So in this case, I'm going to take the victory points, and I'm just going to put that over here on my player board. And then, because I want to take over and control this sector, I'm going to move an influence disk onto the center of it, like that. Okay, so that is my action. So we'll go, now it would be your action, and we'll go back and forth like that, taking one action each. At any time, instead of taking an action, you can choose to pass. And once you pass, the first person to pass in a turn becomes the first player in the next turn, which that becomes kind of important later in the game when the technologies come out there that you might want to be the first player to buy the good technology. But for now, what you're going to do is most likely you're going to want to start out by doing an exploration. So you go to your player board, right? You move a disk to exploration, and you're going to say which tile you want to explore. And now it's going to have to either be one of those four where you've got a wormhole marker at.
Okay, so I'll go south.
Okay. So that's going to be enter ring 1, so you're going to pull a number 1 tile.
Okay, and I'll keep the orientation the way it is.
Okay. And that's a nice tile. So there's no icon in the middle, so that means that there's no technology or aliens there. So if you want to place that like it is now, as part of your explore action, if you want to take control of that sector, you're going to move one of your disks from your influence track to the center of that tile.
Okay.
And you also have the ability to now move your population onto the worker spaces on that tile. So you've got the orange one with the star. That requires a technology in order to use that, so that's not available to you. But the white one is. Now the white is special in that you can put a worker from any one of the 3 tracks on a white one. Money is probably a good one to do it the first, because that allows you basically to do more actions. Now, in order to move population there, you've got to use one of your shuttles. If you go to the right side of your player board, in the upper right corner above the ships, you'll see 3 tiles that look like they're like I guess hexagon. Yeah, you're just gonna flip that. You'll leave it on your player board. You just want to flip it, and that shows that it's used.
How long do those get reset? Once every turn?
Yes, not every round. Or I'm sorry, let me think the terminology here. Actually, it's let me make sure I got that terminology of rounds versus turns. It is yeah, so there's 9 turns in the game, and then there's multiple rounds. So at the end of the turn, all of your shuttles will refresh, but also by doing a influence action, you can flip up to 2 of them back. Typically, until late in the game, though, you're not going to really be placing more than 3 a turn anyway, because you're just not going to be exploring that quickly. Okay, so that is all you can do as part of your action. So it will go back to me. I'm going to, if you look at the let's do one more thing that I forgot to do at the setup. Go back to your player board, and to the right of your person's picture there, Like you see the portrait of the man.
Yep.
Okay, so to the right of that there's a vertical track. That is your resource bank. And it goes down to 15, then it goes around to the left. To start the game, those 3 tokens at the top of that track should be on the markers where the color is. So like pink and brown should be on 3. Yeah, and then orange should be on 2. So those are your starting resources.
On 2 or 4?
On 2. The humans can trade 2 of any resource for 1 of another at any time for free, like as a free action. So you can trade like 2 money for 1 research. There are alien races you can play that have different rules to them, but for the humans it's a 2-to-1 trade. If you look at the supply board, and we'll go back to the research tiles that we drew at the beginning of the game, the cost is going to be in that pink disc at the bottom. So for example, the improved hull, which is the second one in the middle track there, it says 4/3. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, that means that the normal cost is 4 and the minimum cost is 3. Now the reason that the cost can be reduced, if you go back to your player board, you'll see that there are the 3 tracks there also. As you begin to research more of a particular track, you get that discount that's shown at the bottom, the -1, -2, -3.
Right.
So like the second technology you buy on a track is that it costs you 1 less, the third is 2 less, and so on. But there is a minimum cost for each technology depending on what it is. So for my second action, I am going to do research. So I'm going to move my disc to the research area. And research allows you to buy 1 technology. Now the distinction in this game is that what I'm doing is I'm buying the technology, but I still have to equip it onto my ships. You only have to buy the technology once and then you own it for the rest of the game. You can equip it to as many ships as you wish, but you're buying the technology. Basically you're doing your research points to gain that technology. It's a one-time deal. I want improved hull, which is going to cost 4, and I don't have 4 research available. I have 3, so what I can do is I can trade in 2 of the brown for 1 research, and then I'm going to trade 2 money in for 1 research. Oh wait, no, I don't have to do that. Just the 2. So then I'm going to spend the 4 science in order to buy the improved hull. So it's going to come off of the supply board and go onto my research board on the player. So I own that technology now. It's not on my ships, but I do own it. That is all I do as part of my action, so it goes to you.